Hello,
Girls like,
Jamie Yoshida.
hello,
Aloha.
Aloha!
aloha.
When we decided to do an Aloha themed kit, we knew who we had to call, right?
Right
There's
away.
no
Ready.
one with more Aloha than Jamie Yoshida.
I'm
So
ready
we
for
were
you,
very
girls.
excited when she was willing to work with us on this kit. And she even helped us to get a few seashells right from Hawaii to put into the kit. Thank you for doing that, Jamie.
Of course. I'm super
Yeah.
excited. I don't even know what's in here.
So if you haven't met Jamie Yoshida, she is the owner of the Bead Gallery in Honolulu, Hawaii. And she has been a huge Softflex fan for years and has carried her wire for multiple decades and is just an all-around expert on beading and life in general, honestly. So we're super excited to have her here today. And of course, I also have my work wifey Kristen here with me as well.
Aloha, everybody. So happy to see you all today.
Yeah. So how's it going today, Jamie?
It's good running around, and it's so nice to sit down with you guys. I was like, I need a creative moment and a breather. And I woke up this morning and I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait. And I can't wait to see what's in this bag. I took a photo of it this morning and I shared it on my Facebook page. I was like, who wants to see what's in this bag?
I
I
know,
know.
it's so fun. And there's a couple hundred people out there that have the same kit. So a lot of them will be tuning in to see what you make with it. And I'm sure they'll be excited to get some ideas
Oh,
from you. I opened the kit
okay.
last week, but we're going to open it again with Jamie. So I'm going to spotlight Jamie and you can start unwrapping it and thinking about what you might make with it. Jamie loves
Okay.
a challenge, right, Jamie?
I love it. I love it so much that I was like, I had this on my desk for a whole month. And I was like dying to open it. And I was like, no, I'm gonna
It was
wait. I'm
teasing
gonna wait.
you.
hmm And even this morning, you know what I was thinking, girls? I was like, okay, should I go into this like as a challenge on a personal level, or should I go in as a teacher? And how can I share the experience and also show projects that can be inspiring and doable at the same time, right? Because that's completely a different way of
Mhm.
jewelry making of when you're teaching,
Mhm.
inspiring, or if you want to just make something with what your own flow is saying. So what well, let's see what our customers like. Do they want to see projects that they can recreate? In which case then I will only work with what's here, or do they want to
Jamie,
just see how I would do it?
Jamie, Janet is
Yeah.
saying that Danton and Jason opened it and then rewrapped it. Is that true?
Yes, we're promoting the show yesterday, so I told them that they could open it, but don't tell me what's in it. And so they did
I
it.
love it.
They showed it, and I had no idea.
Oh my gosh.
That's
They're so
great.
funny.
Jamie, I would just love to see what you would make if you received this kit. So just
Okay.
from your heart and your design, your design aesthetic, what would you do
What's
with
calling
this?
you? Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I
Yeah,
love it. It says aloha. Look,
it
everybody.
does.
That's so awesome. Okay, so now if it's for me, well, because I love a challenge, I also love boundaries. Because I feel like, boundaries are the way that we can set up our creativity.
Mhm.
It gives you a path to fall in. If you have too many things to work with, it can be exhausting, right? You'll be like, I can't figure out what I want to do. So I love it when it's like limited to like what I have on hand and forcing
Mm,
myself to be creative in that.
that's
Even
really
if you don't have
smart.
head pins.
Even if there's no headphones. Oh, yeah, look what I can only do so much. I might have to supply my own wire today, girls, but maybe not. Maybe not. Because you know what I said? I could also just pick one theme and say, I'm going to do like the longest thing I can make. Just one super long thing. And then
Right.
either I wear it as a wrap bracelet or a wrap necklace or convertible or interchangeable. And let's see
Oh,
what I
that's
can do.
fun. That's
because
a good
I was
idea.
thinking about everybody at home, like what are the common things we all would have, right? So we
I'm
might not have
curious.
anything that's common.
I love hearing your process of trying to decide how to even do something without even looking at it. I'm curious what the viewers do when they open the kit. Like, do they?
Yeah.
How do you guys get started when you open one of
Tell
our
us.
kits?
Tell
So I
us,
do have
friend.
to say we are sold out of this kit. We are sold out of this bead mix. But we have a new kit every single month. And in fact, right now we have 2 kits because we have the Great Bead Extravaganza Midsummer Market coming up just in 2 weeks now.
Mhm. It's 2 weeks. Yeah, it's close.
We only had 12 of those this morning when I looked. So there are only 12 kits left. But we also have our brand new theme, Peace and Love, which came out last Wednesday. And we have lots of those left if you want to grab one of those kits and join us for the challenge next month. But
super groovy. Super groovy.
Okay, so I'm going to start you guys with an earring because I want to wear these while I'm making my bracelet. So I was like, all right, what is going to make me super happy is wearing these little
Mermaid tails. Of
I went right
course.
to mermaid tails too, Jamie. Right for them. Here, let me show
Same.
you what I made last week.
Yes.
So you can see it. Let's see, my table's right here. And all right. So I made a bracelet. I went right in for those beautiful starfish. And then I put the little seahorse on the end. And then I just couldn't help but use the mermaid tails. They're so
I think they're so cute. All right, I'm just going to
So
make a
cute.
quick pair of earrings.
okay.
Oh, I like this. I
Put this
personally
in.
like
Ooh,
things that
I
also
love the
taper.
green.
Very
So whenever I
gemstone-y.
design, I rarely try to pick something that's all the same. So that's one thing to consider. Whenever you're doing a design, are you trying to make it come to like a triangle or a reverse triangle shape so that as you pick your beads, you can think about the growth from top to small, from big to small, and go that way. So that's another thing that I like. Oh, and there's spacers in here. So that's perfect. I'm going to use that so I can set off this gemstone. Okay. So I do like that. Here we go. Oh no,
Yeah.
I found more beads I want to use.
Yes, we have Bonnie saying that sometimes she can become overwhelmed with so many different things to work with. And Marisol said she likes to separate the components first and then she can dive in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I changed my mind. I'm putting this super cute shell that's in this kit. Did anybody else get the kit? I'm going to look at the comments. And if so, did you all make something with it yet?
I love that shell.
I have been
Yeah, it's cute.
surprised how many designs have already been posted into the VIB group with this kit. It was like everybody dived in like a mermaid head first and just started designing right away. A lot of times they sort of trickle in over the month. I've seen some mermaid tails where they did sort of that triangle shape that you talked about, so wider on the top, skinnier on the bottom. I think mine just was one size up, but I've
All
seen
right.
it both ways.
Ooh, that shell is so pretty in there. I like that change.
So here's what I did. I used transparent on the bottom, and then I didn't want that to get overwhelmed. So I kept this transparent, and I wanted the other 2 pieces to be transparent as well. And this one is opaque. So naturally, your eye will go to the opaque piece first, even though this is larger, because this one can't be seen through. It is more attention grabbing, and I feel like that shell should get it. So I did a very deliberate pick of being transparent, transparent, transparent with only the shell being opaque. So that'll be my earring.
That looks awesome, Jamie.
I
That's
love
really
hearing your process there. That was great. I have I was watching somebody, actually, I think it was this morning, and she talked about overwhelm. And one of the things she said, which I thought was so smart, is if you're getting overwhelmed, you're thinking past the next step. So you have to think about what's the next step. And if you're going too far ahead, then it's going to overwhelm you. And I was like, oh, that's such a great way of kind of pulling yourself back if you're getting like stuck and overwhelmed. It's just what's next.
Yeah, that's sort of like how we work, throughout COVID.
Right.
Whatever you can do, that's next. All right, so I'm gonna put this dowel in here because I want to make my loops the same size for my earring. And I wasn't sure, so I never did that before. I've actually never made earrings with soft flex before like this, so this is very, very cool. So I'm going to put that in there and squeeze. How does everybody else make sure that their loops are the same size?
Oh, what do you have? A little dowel? Is that what you
Yeah,
use?
I just stuck that in there, so I'm going to make both sides the same by putting this dowel.
I just let them not be exactly the same.
I just eyeball
right on.
I try not to, I don't know. I try not to be too, I don't know, too thoughtful about it.
Yeah. You know, I think because I taught for so many years, and my students would always say, how do I make it look like yours? And, you know, you try to say, oh, just do anything. Don't worry about it. And then they spend the rest of class having regret. And they're like, I wish I had. So then I'm like, all right, I teach in two different ways. I can teach very relaxed, or I will be like, all right, you want to make it look exactly like mine? Well, here you go.
Yeah. That's
so having tools available like that dowel is very helpful in that way, so that you know, okay, this is exactly, just wrap it around this and then it'll be the same size. That's very smart.
Or you can use chopsticks.
Oh yeah, chopsticks are smart too because they all have all different sizes on the one chopstick, right? So you can kind of mark it.
I'm going to switch over to my screen really quickly. So this was the bottle that I did last week where I put the glass seashells with my Hawaiian seashells, and then I added in a turtle and a starfish from the mix. I just went ahead and glued my lid using the E6000. So you should have gotten one of these in your kit. You just put a dab of it around the whole rim and then push it down really good and let it dry. And then you should have gotten one of these guys too, which looks like this. And that will just screw right into the cork. So
I'm going to make that too. I'm going to have you walk me through that. I got to find that piece in mine.
And you can put all sorts of things. I did a, what do we call it? A Pinterest board for Aloha. And there are so many ideas on Pinterest for how to use a bottle like this, whether you're adding glitter or you're adding a little note, like a little love note or a little special message or an intention. I put some seashells. I saw some people had special sand that they've been holding on to that they put into their jar with a couple of seashells. So there's lots and lots of ideas. So I want you to definitely think about it before you finish it and look at all the different ideas that are out there. Coming back to you, Jamie.
Gosh. Sarah, these are so cute.
Aren't they cute?
I love those. I think they were such a great addition.
Oh my gosh, I want to keep them. All right. So whatever I make, I actually was going to do a giveaway or donate it to Beads of Courage, Sarah. So I'm not going to get too attached, but I want to do a teaching opportunity super quick. In case you guys ever had check fire polish or check glass beads, and you're like, I can't get my string in the hole. A lot of times it's because there is a little piece of shot or grit or whatever is the media that they use when they're fire polishing it. So you can just go and pop it out. So don't be afraid to just poke it out with a pin or just another piece of wire, okay? So it doesn't mean that the hole's closed at all.
Good teaching moment.
Sarah, Rosanna's asking, did you glue your screw in as well on the top?
You know, I was thinking about it, but I didn't. I just twisted it in. It twists in pretty far. It feels pretty secure. I definitely need to let my glue dry more though. on the rim, not with the screw. But I imagine a little dab of glue on the end and then screwing it in might be even a little added security. Did you, Rosanna, when you did yours? I also saw some people use the screw on the inside and then hang a little component inside of the bottle. And I thought that was so smart and cute.
Very cute. And Maria's also saying you can make a pair of earrings and use the bottle as a gift box. So that's a really cute idea too.
That's adorable.
That's a great idea.
Have any of you used bottles in your jewelry before? Have you, Jamie, used a bottle before?
I'm going to show you something super quick right now. Okay, so I'm going to take this eye pin and I'm going to poke it in to the cap from the bottom. Maybe I'm going to hold it like this and I'll poke it in from here. I might have to drill it. I'm going to just try. I think I can do it. I can. Okay. Okay, just shove it in. All right, we got it.
Stick that through your finger, for crying out loud. Oh, how smart is that, you guys? I knew I put that eye pin in there for a reason.
That's awesome.
And then I'm going to finish this ear wire. So here's another trick for you all. When your ear wire doesn't have the curve, when you buy them like this, a lot of times it can come out of your ear when the front of this is heavier, right? So it's going to pull up and out of your ear. So to make a tighter curve, take your 6-step wrap and tap, put it on the loop that it's most like, and then just bring it down a little bit. And then that's going to make it so that your ear wire looks, and it looks nicer too, actually. So it's functional and pretty. All right, so that's the earring. Remove all this. Let's have something float from this.
Did you guys see how she just put the eye pin through the entire thing?
I wasn't sure it was going to make it all the way through.
Bottom to top. And she didn't even poke herself. I would have probably poked myself, as most of you know who watch me on a regular basis.
Okay, I'm going to make this hang from inside the bottle. So this is going to be suspended. Let's see if that will fit. Because we don't want it touching the bottom, right?
Right, yeah.
Well, maybe it's going to be... Do you like the crystal with the starfish, or do you like the big water droplet with the starfish hanging from inside the bottle?
Ooh, I kind of like the crystal because it's so sparkly. But the water droplet also looks good because it looks sort of like water. So I don't know. I'm torn.
You're torn.
Ooh,
okay, I'm going to go with the... Well, the water droplet might be a little too... Do you think it might be too long?
It might be a little too long.
Actually, it might be cool. What else do I got in here? I know. Starfish. Let's just suspend it. Let's just get it in there and let's decide, because then I got to figure out how I'm going to get it in there without any other pieces of wire.
Yes.
Man, I wish there were just a few
not a race.
Options.
You can work on that, and Kristen has things going on her table too that she could probably show us.
Yeah, I'm playing around with these colorful soul palettes, these little panels that we've got, and trying to do a tie-dye effect on them. Although I'm missing something. I'm trying to figure out what it is. I'm trying to figure out what I'm missing. Like missing a color or something. I don't know.
Oh.
I'm trying to work it out.
Did I show your table?
Yeah. So I've got these colorful soul
you need
panels.
Yellow.
That's what I was thinking. I do have yellow on my. I have yellow here.
But of course, you need some yellow.
I know. I always need yellow. So I was trying not to. I could go green too, but it'll kind of get darker. What do you guys think? I have 2 different color yellows too. I have citrine and I have ochre. So the citrine is a little bit lighter. Are you going to
string it with that yellow strand of beads at the top?
Well, I was thinking about grabbing some of these little shells out of the Aloha pineapple bead strand. but maybe some of the yellow will come in too. So, and in that case, let's see. I think either of them would work.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Sylvia saying yes, add some yellow. All right. So what I did is I just had this plastic bag here and it looks groovy. Maria said, yeah, I'm totally feeling groovy. And I'm just dropping the paint onto the plastic bag, or you can use wax paper. And then I'm kind of
Kristen,
just plopping it down. What you doing, Jamie?
I'm trying to watch you and make my thing at the same time.
It's hard. I know. That's what I was doing. And now I'm just going to take it and like plop it in there, and you can scoot it around a little bit, but I don't want to scoot it around too much because then it'll blend a little bit too much. But I'm just going to kind of plop it around and then see what happens.
So pretty.
Isn't that fun?
That is so clever. Yes, that is so clever. I thought you.
Well,
did
it's
it
not
with
my
a
idea.
paintbrush.
It wasn't my idea, but
But
it
you
was.
were ready to try it.
But I was ready to try it. Exactly. And I kept, right now I've got everything still in the panel. I haven't popped anything out. And when they pop out, then you can make little pieces. Like this is one of the earrings I made with one of the other panels where I painted on this one. But this one I wanted to really try that tie-dye effect. And then maybe I'll come back and paint some of these details. Oh, it does look very Van Gogh. You're right, Terry. I have another one that I'm wearing too, where I added a little bead and then had the painting on the bottom. And this uses the two different green colors and the moonstone color, which is kind of a silver. So easy, no paintbrush, right? And then the other thing I noticed the other day when we were playing with these is that they're really nice to use the tips just like right onto. So let's do this one because it's kind of simple. And just use the tip right on the panel to color in your piece. And then it gives it kind of that enamel look to it.
Oh, that's nice because that really pops out that wave with the tie-dye behind it.
Yeah.
That looks good.
Thanks. We'll have to see what happens when it dries. See what it looks like. But I feel like that'll be fun.
It's so pretty.
And I don't have to worry about painting in all the little lines.
Mm-hmm. That is nice. Let's see what Jamie's up to over here.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's Jamie up to?
What are you doing, Jamie?
All right, so I was like, have you ever done a wrap bracelet with Softlex?
Yes.
Oh,
that doesn't
okay.
mean you shouldn't. You should do one.
All right. How does it work? Because I've never done one with Softlex. You just it just wraps nicely like this cord.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. You
just
can make
gotta
it as long as you want. You just have to make sure it's the right length to attach.
Okay.
And make sure you have enough space like between where you crimp it and your last bead so that it'll wrap and not be too tight.
And if you do enough loops, it can be a necklace or a wrap bracelet.
Gotcha.
It can do double duty.
Double duty. So I love this pink and yellow so much. I'm gonna make it work. I'm not sure how, but what I'm going to do is use this as like the concentrated area of color. So I think I'm going to use those 3 at a time. Then I'm going to dilute the other colors by putting, let's say, a turtle. Let me just kind of lay it out and get an idea. Because sometimes if you break up like the odd color, the poison color, too much, it might look distracting. I want it to look very deliberate. I love color blocking, so let's see what that looks like. This is so cute, this kit.
Thank you.
Do you guys come out with new kits, what, every month?
Every
Yeah.
month. Yep.
Oh,
And we planned this kit like last December. We started talking about this kit. So we are
It's
really
always-
excited when it happens because we've been talking about it for so long.
And we truly do forget like what's in it until we open it up and we're like, oh yeah, this was such a good idea.
how do you get your themes?
We impress ourselves.
All over the place.
Yeah, Kristen and I usually sit down and talk about things that are happening in the world. We talk about the Great Bead Extravaganza and some of our friends over there and how we could incorporate things from them into our kits. Whether it's you or Abby, we incorporated some things in, or Andrew at Allegory Gallery, Kay from Stars Beads. We've been thinking more and more about how we can collaborate and have parts and pieces from you. And then we also find color palettes all year long and we kind of earmark them.
Mm-hmm.
And then decide. And then we think of season, like beach themed jewelry in the summer feels nice. Might not feel like, although you can do beach themed jewelry all year long for, someone in the Midwest, it may not feel like a great fit in December,
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we think about that. We also love holidays. So if we can do a holiday themed kit, we're all over it.
It's
always
true.
fun.
And
What
we
is-
look at the
what was-
runway. Our Peace and Love kit was inspired by what's happening on the runway because there's a lot of like groovy psychedelic stuff happening in the fashion world and bright colors and yeah. And I'm the hippie over here, so I was like, oh, macrame and psychedelic patterns are in style? All right, I'm on it.
It's like, how can we do a mushroom inspired kit? I'm like, I don't know.
Wait, you did a mushroom inspired
Like,
kit?
Exactly.
No, I was trying to, but we ended up with Peace and Love. But Sarah did bring in some of Cynthia's mushrooms into the live sale recently, so that I can pair them with my Peace and Love, my Peace and Love goodies.
Did you know mushrooms are hot, Jamie? That's what Kristen's been telling me.
When I was in Tucson, I saw someone selling a lot. There was a lot of the carved gemstone mushrooms.
Mhm.
So I guess I should have gone, oh, this is a thing. And then when I came home, I was telling somebody about it. They're like, did you get any? I was like, no.
It
Like, not at
is.
all.
You need a Kristen. You need a work wifey that is hip to what's going on.
Hip to the
Yeah.
kids.
Definitely. Kristen, I thought you were a kid too. When I saw your full grown boys, I was tripping out because I was like, what?
Oh,
No, I have an 18-year-old. Isn't that crazy?
All right.
I don't know.
I'm going to jump in real quick and just show you my little math trick when I design. So I break everything down into numbers when I'm trying to figure out like how to do a layout. And so first of all, I wanted to use all of these pink beads. So first I was like, okay, 3 is my number. I love things like body, mind, spirit, past, present,
Mhm.
future. I love things in 3. So I said, let me just start with that by doing 3 and breaking it up. And then the pattern I did was always going to be a focal set where it's green, beige, blue, green, beige, blue, green, beige, blue. And so that is one way of, kind of taking the chaos that you have here and then working it out, at least to start a pattern. Like when your brain is like, I don't know what to do, here's a great way just to lay it out. Now, I know I wanted to do about a 23-inch bracelet because Maria said 23 inches for a 3-wrap bracelet. I was like, girl, I'm going to do that. So now I'm at 10, 12. So that's not enough. That means that I'm going to have to, if I want to keep doing this pattern, I'm going to have to steal one away of each of these pink beads so that I can continue the pattern to go around. So just kind of relying on some patterning to make it easy to make some decisions. Now I can go 1, 2, 3 more sets again. So I'm going to go and keep on laying it out. And then after that, I'm going to string it. I've never, like I said, done a wrap in soft flex. So I'm excited, but I have a small problem. I don't have a clasp. So I'm trying to think, what can I make with a clasp so that I have soft flex?
You should have a lobster
bead.
clasp in there.
Oh my God, I do. Thank you. I found it.
We try to always put at least one clasp and a couple pairs of ear wires. So anybody, even brand new, could open our kit and make a couple of things without having to have anything else.
So Jamie,
Awesome.
what is that? What is that gray? Is that like a little rubber thing you have in the middle there?
Oh, this, I had these made. So I got them made in 3 different sizes so there are 17 millimeters, 19, and one more size, 15. So I have a 15 centimeter wrist. Michelle has a 17 and Jason has a 19. And we did that because people have seen us and they recognize us. So when we tell our customers, you don't know what size bracelet to make, who do you look like the most? Me, Michelle, or Jason? And then you just pick the one that matches the size.
That's hilarious.
So smart. I love that.
Hilarious.
I've gotten better. I will say that was always a big struggle for me when I first started making jewelry. Was my bracelets were always the wrong size. They were either too big or too small. I just could never. I had to restring them all the time. I've gotten better as I've learned more, but I just gotten comfortable of knowing what my size is. But I think that that's a big struggle.
Especially when you're making a gift.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I finished, girls. Here is my. So I soft flexed my seahorse.
I love that as a verb.
Goes in.
I soft flexed.
Oh, I know. That's what we say at the Bead Gallery. We soft flex things. We don't just string. And then I'm going to turn a loop on this side of the wire so that I have a hanging portion. And then that's going to be.
The jar. Will you hold it up so we can see it? Look at how cute.
Oh, it's so cute.
I love it.
Oh my gosh, if we had some kind of resin, like I've never done resin in my life, but
that would be fun.
If you put it in, it would look like water, right? And so then your little sea creature would be suspended. But really
one of the things I was seeing on Pinterest was like people doing almost like lava lamps. Back to Kristen's
the psychedelic, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it was. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like the thought of mixing things inside of it and then locking it closed. It's very, very interesting. Okay, well, I'm gonna switch. While you're doing your patterning, I'm gonna switch over here. So what I did was I got my bottle together. I don't know that the glue is really great for me to be doing this right away, but since I'm on a live video, I'm just gonna go for it. So I just went ahead and strung it to the center of my soft flex. I soft flexed it. And then I strung all my beads on to make a necklace that matches my earrings and my bracelet. And I strung one crimp on this side, and then I strung another crimp on the other side and passed my wire back into it. I'm going to go ahead and crimp that using my magical crimpers, but you can use any crimping pliers that work for you. Just like that. And then go crimp in those sides. Ravioli time, friends. And then when I feel like that's a solid connection, I can tug on it and it's not going to come apart. I can go ahead and trim my wires. on both sides. And then string that crimp bead down to the beads down here. So now it's sitting right here next to my last bead. And then this crimp, I'm going to crimp in place just to hold this side. And then I don't need a clasp. I've just crimped one continuous piece of soft flax. So I'm going to take this one and string my little extra bit of wire into the crimp, bring it down to my beads, and now I will crimp it in place.
I like that.
I'm hoping my bottle doesn't fall apart on me while I'm doing all this.
Yeah.
That's the
When did you glue it before we got on?
No,
Or
I
just
did
now?
it right at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
While Amy was getting started. So I'd let it, I mean, it's a pretty fast drying glue, but I normally wouldn't use it right away.
I'm laughing because I love to like touch things after I glue it like right away. And you know, it's still like swirly and I'm like, oh no, I can't help it.
I know. And there we go. Then we have a nice long necklace, no clasp needed if you've already used your clasp. And the insides are just all things that were in the kit that I put in there.
So cute.
I think
That
it's
turned out really nice.
I'm curious, do you have your bottle there, Kristen? Have you tried putting the ultimate paint on it?
I don't have my bottle open yet. I have my kit here though. I can open my
Yeah, why don't
can
you
open
open
my
it and
kit.
just give it a try so we know? Because it doesn't tell us if it works on glass or not.
That's true. It doesn't say glass on the list of items, but it does say resin. That's interesting. I know it doesn't stick to the plastic really. So
Jamie, how
We'll
many
see.
years have you been in business?
25 in a few months.
And can you tell us a little bit about when you started?
You know, it's so funny. I'm
started
so
somewhere
into
else.
this project right now, Sarah. I'm like, I can't talk.
she's like, I got beading to do.
I'm like, really?
And I'm like, I'm all done. So now I can talk and I can ask.
Okay. So what was the question? How did I get started? Did I ever tell you how I got started?
I feel like I've heard the story, but I don't feel like you've told me specifically.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll tell you because I can talk about that because that's just retelling history.
Right. Yeah, that's what I
Now.
was thinking.
I had a friend in high school whose mom that I got to know when I was, I think, in my early 20s, and I taught her how to bead, and she was just transformed by it. She was just like, "Oh my God, I love it so much." And I think I was 20, maybe 4 at the time, 25 at the time, 25, 26. And at that time, I had left my city and county job. I used to work for the city council, and then I wanted to do glass work. So I was doing like glass animals in a window in Haleiwa, kind of like Disneyland style. And
Okay.
what happened after that? Oh,
Were you
and I was
born
also
and
working
raised
as a
in
barista.
Hawaii?
Yes, I was born and raised in Hawaii, and I lived in Japan. I got a scholarship to live in Japan for a year. So my first year of college, I was actually in Japan. And then I went to Santa Clara, California for the next 3 after that.
Oh.
And so I know where you guys are, and I know where Chaircast is. So that's kind of cool.
Mhm.
I have to come visit you. And then
We would
then
love
what
that.
happened? Oh, so my best friend's my high school friend's mom tells me, she was a realtor. She goes, what are you going to do with your future? And I was like, I don't know, maybe make beads continuously because I love it. And she was like, well, you have to have some kind of future, in mind. She's like, why don't you start a not-for-profit, like if you really want to help the community and blah, blah, blah. And she goes, but you have to always keep in mind, how are you going to earn a living? And I was like, okay. Like, really? Okay. And it was really serious. And then she's like, you should open a bead store. And I was like, okay. Like, really, I was kind of just playing along with it. Then she calls me a couple of weeks later and she's like, I found you a place for your bead store. I was like, what? What bead store? I was like, I don't have a bead store. I definitely do not feel like I want to open a bead store. And then she was like, well, maybe you can, think about it. And I was like, okay, well, if I had a bead store, what would I do? And I was like, I probably would, teach people how to make glass beads. Oh, that was my first love, lamp working. I didn't actually make jewelry. I made glass beads. I had woken up one morning and I dreamt that I was doing something in melting glass. So I called the university. This was like the year before. I called the university and I was like, how do I, get into the school so that I can learn how to do hot glass? They're like, oh, you have to take all these classes and start again. And I was like, what? That's okay. I'm like, that's kind of intense, actually, to think you have to start school all over again.
Yeah.
My pattern's all crazy, but that's okay. I'm going to keep stringing because now I'm just going for it. And so I went to you. I called UH, and then I ended up taking a beginner's glass class, just a 1-day session. And I talked to the professor, and he's like, okay, there's this lady. Her name's Mary Kennedy, and she lives on the North Shore. She goes, you should give her a call. And I was like, all right. I called her, and I said, I want to make glass beads. And she goes, well, I only fuse. So if you would like to come and check it out, I have these 2 people visiting from the mainland who are going to come down and we're going to exchange ideas. Like, I had no idea she was this amazing, talented glass artist, like well-known. I thought she was just some lady who lived on the North Shore whose house I was going to go to. I went over there and she has this whole setup. Turns out that she sells these pieces that are thousands and thousands of dollars of layered glass that she does in her kiln. And she was like, here, sit at this torch. Here, try make this. And I was like, okay. So I made a bead. Then I went home and I was so hooked. I couldn't stop thinking about it. There was no internet back then, okay? Seriously, it was dial up. There's no pictures on the screen at that time. And so I had a phone number and a piece of paper. So I called, who did I call? Do you know the lamp work guys who it was in Mountain View, Sundance. And then there's another guy who sold glass, both in Northern California. And so I ended up ordering glass, ordered a torch, found propane tanks in Hawaii, found an oxygen tank, and I started teaching myself how to make beads. And this was the start of my love. And I didn't know what I was doing. And I just was like, I'm just going to give it a shot. And there's no YouTube. There is your torch, and I'm sitting outside of my mom's house in the full wind with the flame just shaking and shivering. Oh my gosh. Crazy.
I love this.
Yeah, it was so fun. And then that's how I met Calvin, because I made a friend from California on the internet at one of those chat rooms. And then Ava was having a bead show. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go and try and do a bead show in California. And Calvin came up to the booth. Turns out he had been working at Sundance and he had taken my orders for glass. So he remembered me because he used to laugh because I used to order 1 rod at a time. I was like, I didn't have a lot of money. So I'd be like, can I have 1 rod of pink and 2 rods of green? And then he would pack it and ship it to me. So he remembered me. Then he came, met me at a show, and then I saw his beads. And then I was like, ooh, then thank God he and Mom fell in love along the way. He moved to Hawaii. And that's how I got my first lamp working, artist, which was Calvin.
That's awesome. When's the last time you made a glass bead?
Girl, I think I went on the torch last year for fun and I made some little bugs, but I was going to go on to do a live. I'll make you a bug, Sarah and Kristen.
I want a bug. Yeah.
I'm just thinking of
how ladybug, that would be extra special, but I'll take any kind of bug.
A bug. I'll try to get some dots on it for you.
There you go. All I can think about, Jamie, is how your story is very much like next step. Because if you looked too far ahead, you would have never gotten where you went. You didn't know you were going to this very famous artist house that probably would have freaked you out a little bit had you known. And like all of those things were just like, what's next? What's just the next step? And then it got you all the way to here.
Well, it's been amazing because, so my best friend's mom says, okay, so I found you a space. And I said, okay, like, I called my dad. I was like, Dad, can you help me just in case, like, I need to get a loan? Because I was like, I don't have money. And she's like, don't worry, I'll introduce you to someone at the bank. I was like, oh, okay. And so I go down to the bank.
She's like your bead store angel.
Yeah, and I had a piece of paper, and they said, what do you need? I go, I need plastic bags, a cash register, some beads, and probably like something to sell it on, like a case or something. So that's my list that I go to the bank with. Luckily, my dad let us put his townhouse on lien. Because he was like, well, I believe in you. He goes, I was like, Dad, they're going to take it away if I don't do okay. He's like, no. He goes, just give it a shot. My dad is self-employed too. He sells insurance. So I end up thinking that I'm going to start a lamp working store, not beads, lamp working. Turns out after I get the lease, after I get the loan, the fire department says no, because they won't let me install water things, to like if there's a fire. So I can't. I find out I have a 5-year lease. I have a loan, but I can't do my torch store where I'm going to teach people how to make glass beads. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I got pivot. So my pivot was I'm going to sell some beads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie, Pam wants to know if you can make mushrooms to take it full circle to what's the hot trend.
Oh my gosh. I go ask my bead dad. I bet you Calvin can.
Mm-hmm.
He can make jellyfish. I mean.
Well, let Calvin know mushrooms are hot right now.
Okay. And he's a hippie. I'm sure he's going to like the whole idea of like a mushroom.
He's going to love it. He's going to love it.
Speaking of trends, so it is Summer of Love in the Great Bead Extravaganza Facebook group, and it kicked off this month with seed beads. So you can go over to the Great Bead Extravaganza Facebook group, open up the albums, and find the trendsetter picture that shows the seed beads. Click on that and then look for the image that says show your work and click on that. And then in the comments, you can post all of your projects that you are doing using seed beads. And in order to also celebrate that, Kristen and I plan to revisit Seed Bead Revolution on Friday of this week. I don't remember what time.
I feel like it was noonish or 1, but
yeah, we'll post an event for it. We just decided last week. It's sort of a spur of the moment thing, but we have all of our old designs. We're going to show those to you, and then we may remake a design or two with some newer things, that have come out in the last 5 years since the book came out. And yes, and our Peace and Love kit sort of goes along with that theme too. We were talking in the Great Bead Extravaganza group about just how the world is sort of chaotic right now, and how at times like this, it's good to turn to something that's therapeutic, like beading, and how seed beading can really be sort of a meditation, or what Jamie's doing right now, patterning, how you can just sort of sit and relax and let the design sort of come together. And how wonderful that is. And so we really want to promote that as a great trend for summer, is to just get your peace and love and your meditative qualities going.
Sarah, that sounds so wonderful.
I know. Teresa's saying you would like some psychedelic mushrooms.
Oh my God. That's totally Calvin.
I wonder what those would look like. I bet they'll be really bright and colorful.
Okay, here's my bracelet. I'm just going to pop it in the screen. It is 3 wraps. It's long enough to be a necklace. I'm going to finish it right now.
Cute.
Good. Maria says she's been on a seed bead kick since February. Yeah, we've seen a lot of seed beads recently. And I have a feeling it has to do with that ability to sort of meditate as you're doing it.
Yeah, really just sort of dive into it and once you get going, patterning is just so relaxing.
And Elaine says she loves bead embroidery. It's so relaxing. Maria likes the swishing the beads around. Feels good.
I like that too, Maria.
Teresa says that she's so busy shopping for beads, she doesn't have time to actually use her beads. How funny. And Marisol's noting she really likes the bigger seed beads. I do too. And actually, we have a live beading party coming up with Danielle Wicks. And she sent me a ton of huge seed beads from John Bead. So that'll be coming up in a week or 2 weeks, I think.
She is so talented. Oh, that girl.
She's very talented. John Bead's very lucky to have her. And she's such a sweet human being too.
Okay, so I'm going to show something real quick to everybody. I hammered my fingers, so I'm going to not use my fingers today, just my tools. But I don't have a jump ring. I'm going to make one with this eye pin that Sarah so graciously stuck in this kit. So if you don't have a jump ring or a piece of wire, I'm going to take this eye pin. I'm going to wire wrap on each side of this bead. And now this is going to be my clasp to finish the ring side of my clasp because I needed something to put my
perfect
clasp into.
Way
Sarah,
to make it, Jamie.
Can I give the rest of my beads, because there's a lot, to a winner of, like, let's say someone who subscribes to your YouTube channel and mine, and then they report back here that they did on our Facebook?
Sure. Yeah. So if you go and subscribe to the Bead Gallery, and you want to make sure it's the Bead Gallery in Honolulu, because there are a few bead galleries. So is it at the Bead Gallery on YouTube?
It's just, we are the Bead Gallery on YouTube.
Okay. The Bead Gallery on YouTube, and then Softflex Company. Make sure you're subscribed to both. And then come back here and comment done, and you'll be entered to win all of Jamie's leftover beads.
Look, it's a lot, you guys.
There is a lot left.
I'm like,
look at that sweet mermaid, lots of check glass.
Look, I'm going to even give you my turtle and my shell. And then you can have fun with with this too. I mean, oh my gosh, this is a lovely kit. I want to do this again.
So why don't you guys by Friday, for those who watch this on replay, Kristen and I will announce the winner on Friday when we do Seed Bead Revolution. We will not contact you separately. We will not ask you to text a different social media site. Mm-hmm. We will announce the name, and then we will contact you through Facebook Messenger, and it will be from Softflex Company. And we will not ask you for money of any kind for your winnings.
Just you have to be really clear about that. Yeah.
And don't be afraid. Right. Don't be afraid when you get a mysterious package from Hawaii.
Yeah. This is awesome. I can't wait to see. And then, Jamie, I know you have a bunch of really beautiful seashells. Do you have any of those you can show us today?
Oh my gosh, yes.
When you're all done with your bracelet.
I have all kinds of seashells. I have sunrise shells. I have puka shells. I have cone shells. And our cone shells are some of my favorites. But I love this kit.
Fun. So Jamie, just real quick, I know I caught one of your showcases the other day. How often do you guys do your showcases?
Oh, girl, we're on like 4 or 5 times a week now that we
Whoa.
closed our store and we're not open, like the way we used to be, brick and mortar, which was our first 23 years in business. And so now we are a
Sweet.
full-fledged online store. But hopefully one day, I look forward to like interacting with everyone again. So this is
Oh,
my bracelet.
it looks
That looks
so
so good.
good. Will you send us a picture of your bracelet after?
Yes. And
I
my
love
earrings.
it.
Oh, and I forgot to show you how to finish this off, everybody. So now that you have your eye pin through here, you are going to grab the top. You can put on a spacer bead, which kind of would like make it look a little bit more finished. And we have one in the kit. I'm gonna take the top, 90-degree angle, and then I'm gonna just wrap it so that we can make a loop, and then you can put a jump ring through this loop, or you can put your chain right through there.
Or your soft flex.
Oh yeah, or you can soft flex this pendant.
Yeah. Awesome. And then
what's nice is,
everybody
like,
who got the kit, there's E6000 glue, like a little tube of it. I'm putting it up on my screen. Yep, there you go.
I got
the
it for you, girl.
E6000 glue. You can glue down that cork. And
Should
if
I? You want me to do a demo?
Sure. And if you want to get one of these little tubes of glue, we have them for sale on our website. And I imagine you have those for sale too, Jamie. Is that right?
Yeah.
Or maybe not that size, but something similar.
You know which one we use is the E6000 Plus. They came out with that as a non-fogging glue. So you know how like some of the glues fog a bit, like when you have the oxygen reduced. So the E6000 Plus is their non-fogging version, which is pretty cool. So you can use that to seal off crystals and whatever you want.
Oh, that's good to know.
I've never used E6000. It'll be my first time giving that a try.
Oh my gosh, I put so much glue in there, girl. I don't even know if that was a good idea.
I put it on my cork and then slid my cork in, and it did kind of bubble up a little bit to the surface, and I just wiped it clean. That worked.
That is smart. Do you know I don't
have to go buy the glue?
I'm not a good gluer, as you all can see, but
don't
let that stop you.
I'm not a good gluer either. I always end up touching it.
I was talking to Tracy at TierraCast about a project, and she was like, "Oh, you should just use epoxy." And I was like, "Oh, how does that work?" And she's like, "How have you gotten by without using epoxy?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't like to glue."
Yeah.
I'm not gluing things.
And then I'll show that effort.
But
We're
I guess
over here
now because I got
crimping.
All right.
We're making raviolis while everyone else is gluing.
Awesome. While Jamie's setting up, I'm just going to click to Kristen real fast. Did you try the paint on the bottle, Kristen?
I did. Yeah. And it actually is doing okay. It dried and it doesn't seem to be mushing off. It seems to be staying. I want to see. I don't know what happens if I add water to it.
Water, you wet.
I have a little water here, so let me see.
Look at that beautiful pendant at the top with the white wave.
Oh my God.
What in the heck?
Didn't that come out cute?
Pretty.
That is so pretty.
Having fun with all these little shapes, trying to figure out what earrings I want to do.
Did you freehand draw that, Kristen?
Oh no, it's on the actual little wood piece. So it just is like all these little lines are there for you. So you just have to kind of, and I don't color in the lines very well, as you guys can see. I'm not super, but it looks good. Yeah, like I'm happy with it. I think it's fun. All right, so I've got a little water on this rag here, and let's
do a
just
little
see.
experiment.
Let's just see what happens. Ooh, it's good. It's not coming off.
Really?
And this is kind of a abrasive little rag too.
Huh.
I like that.
I see
Oh, I got a little bit. I did get a little bit off. Okay. It did
Yeah,
pull a
really
little bit
working
off.
hard.
But I have a feeling if you were to paint
I wonder
and
if there's
seal
something you
it,
could coat it with after
yeah.
you paint it.
Now it's just looking very abstract because all these little pieces are coming off. But you can probably put a sealer on it, or
Interesting.
you could put maybe one of those bubble, like not on this, but if you were to paint on a glass
You could paint the
cabochon,
inside.
you can paint the inside, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, so it does kind of peel off, it looks like.
Okay, good to know.
I think
All
it's
right.
considered water
Shady.
soluble.
Show us some
Ooh,
seashells.
I love those. Those are called what? Sunshine or
Sunrise
sunrise?
shells. Okay, so I'll
Sunrise.
just give you a quick, because these are just interesting things about shells. These are really called Langford pecten shells, and we call them sunrise shells in Hawaii, and they are usually, I think they got the name is because you can find them at sunrise in the morning, and then they get picked over, right? And they just disappear off your walk. So you can find them with oranges and pinks, and normally you have to dive about 100, I think it's 100 feet to get to these. And so they're not easy to access. So when one does roll up on the shore, you should feel very lucky. Now, some people don't like to drill them. So we have a YouTube tutorial on how to wrap them. If you want to put a Tahitian pearl with it, you can, or you can just wrap it with wire so that you don't change your shell.
Mm-hmm.
See,
So
I do drill some of
are
mine.
these just on the island that you live on, which is Oahu, right?
So these are found in Hawaii waters, all
All
near
over
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's because the color comes because of the temperature of the water, you know, what the mollusks are eating. I mean, there's so many different things that can affect how the shell comes out, how the ridges are forming. And a lot of people like it with the pink. There's some albino ones that are like gray. I'll show you one that's so different, like something like this. Look at that. That is also a
Ooh.
sunrise shell. And all of these have been cleaned because you have to imagine when you find them, they have like a cement on them, like which is just the ocean like beating it down, and there's like things that grow on it. So you have to clean them. So there is a process of cleaning, not all, but you probably have to clean like 85% of the ones that you find where it's a bit of an acid, like a muric acid, and you have to it's a lot of work to get them this nice. And so, but they're so gorgeous because the color is not enhanced. That's its real color. And these are
Super
cone
pretty.
shells. And I wanted to show you that because we do a lot of bracelets, lariat style necklaces, earrings, because they come in all sizes. That's a baby version, and there's even smaller. But all of these are different. Some are native to Hawaii, some you can still find in the Philippines, some you can find in different areas. But these are my favorite. These called abbreviated cones, and they have little polka dots on them. Love.
Oh my gosh, they're so cute.
Yes, this is a olive green. That's the name of this because it's olive green.
Mm-hmm.
This is the
Love
golden
those.
yellow, and then I don't know where my cat cones are, but I have some other ones. So, this is the I hope I'm pronouncing it right. The Chaldean. So they all are different species. So it's kind of cool, you know, like how you want to collect it, how you want to wear it. We do drill holes in it so that you can wear it, but you can make cages.
I was just going to ask that. You guys have a way of drilling holes? Because I saw that Jason said that he could drill holes on the live I was watching with you.
Yes.
So
that's really neat. We have these wonderful drill bits. They're called core drill bits, and a core drill bit will make a hole.
So,
but do you know what this becomes?
For sale on your website?
They are. So you can just look up shells and you'll find it.
On thebeadgallery.com, right?
Thebeadgallery.com. And then you can see the sunrise shells, the cone shells, or you can just contact us. And we have videos on YouTube that show you how to make things with the cone shells. It is it's like it doesn't end. It's unending, the creativity you can have with shells. This is a core drill bit right here. And so this is a specific drill bit that makes holes. It doesn't make a hole bigger, it actually creates a hole. So that's a really cool bit to have. A hole
Very
maker.
cool. A couple of things. Faith, in order to enter the giveaway, you need to subscribe to the Bead Gallery and Softflex Company on YouTube, the 2 YouTube channels, and then come back and write done in the comments, and that will enter you to win. You have until Friday morning to enter, and then we will announce the winner on our Seed Bead Revolution remake on Friday. I think it's going to be right in the middle of the day. And
Seed Bead Revolution.
I also saw a good point from Lois. She said she used stickers on her bottle. And I wanted to point out, if you have a Cricut maker or anything in the Cricut line, you can make your own stickers that will adhere to the glass. And so you could probably do a lot of different things using that. It's a small surface, but I'm sure there's lots of options for making cute little things that you can put onto your glass bottle. And I see Danielle Wicks is here, so her ears must have been burning.
Must have been ringing.
Talking about her and the large seed beads that we're going to be using. Awesome. So that's it, Jamie.
That's it. Oh, someone just said a good comment that I want to repeat, that it might be dangerous to drill holes in shells. Yes, always drill in water. Always make sure that your piece is submerged in water, whether it's a pearl, a shell, a gem, always have it submerged in water. So please protect your lungs. But before we go, I just want to tell you something super fun, which you might not have known, that this top, when it comes down and it's been worn down by the ocean in years, this is what makes a puka shell. This is the puka shell.
That's the little top. I love those little puka shells.
Yeah.
I have to get some.
So this is where puka shells come from here being worn down. And then that's all that's left, which is the top. And I did not know that. So that just enchanted me when I was like, what?
I love your seashells. I've actually purchased seashells from Jamie. I was so happy that she helped us to put a couple seashells straight from Hawaii into the Aloha design kit. If you love this Aloha design kit and you want to continue the Aloha, I highly suggest checking out the Bead Gallery in Honolulu. They have so many beautiful things that are perfect for this style of design. And
so many,
and kits and things too, that you can find on their website. So
yeah. Do you know what you're doing for Midsummer Market yet, Jamie? Do you have a kit or anything, or are you going to just sort of wing it?
Well, I'm kind of winging it because I might be doing a special from Tahiti for you guys.
What?
Yeah,
Girl?
I'm trying to arrange where I can go meet with a Tahitian pearl farmer so that I can do a quick interview and tell you guys like the process, how you can pick the beads, and hopefully I get to go and do some grafting this time and the implanting. And so I'm trying to make it happen right now. So
you were like blowing my mind.
Yeah, that's amazing. So we have to we have to stay tuned to see what happens with that.
And of course, Sarah and all my GBE friends, I'll get you guys some pearls while I'm there.
Yes.
So very, very exciting.
See the perks of being friends with Jamie. We have to become Jamie's friend.
You're so funny.
That was
our live shows.
Last month.
Please. I definitely want to teach you guys about the pearls, like teach you about the process. I think when you see like how gems come to be on our body, whether it's biogenic like a pearl or fossilized wood, or whether it's just a gem from the ground, or if it's something that's been handmade. I mean, there's so many ways you can adorn. And then when you find the history, the story, and the meaning behind it, and you get to put that on your body and to tell your story, I think that is just the most amazing part about beading. So I cannot wait to share more with you all. So it was such a pleasure to be here today, girls. Yay! I had so much fun with you.
Thank you for being here. And of course, everybody out there, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and give us a thumbs up on YouTube so that others can find it as well. And don't forget to go subscribe to Jamie Yoshida's channel, The Bead Gallery on YouTube, as well as ours, and then comment done in order to enter to win all of Jamie's leftover beads from the kit. And
let me get it.
and definitely check her out because she's got live showcases going on a regular basis, and mostly on YouTube or on YouTube and Facebook.
Oh my gosh, we're on Facebook and we are on our website. So if you check out thebeadgallery.com, we have a calendar there that tells you what we're up to. And we do readings. So if you want a gemstone reading, so a bit of an intuitive reading, we do that on Instagram.
I saw
everything,
that one. That's with Dalton.
Everything.
Is that who that's with? Oh my
that's
gosh.
with Danton. That's with
Danton.
Danton. So,
Danton.
yes.
Oh my gosh.
We're trying to get out everywhere the same way we did when we had a brick and mortar store. We're still reaching out the same kind of way. So, I mean, but it's actually better because I don't think I could have beaded with you guys like this, right? Pre-COVID. I think that all of these changes have been wonderful. Just still working it out, trying to figure out how to keep going, but being creative, just like beading, keeps you fresh and on your toes. And I would say if you're out there and you're not sure like the benefits of beading, it is empowering. It keeps you creative. It keeps you being a problem solver so that when bigger things in life hit you, you can pivot fast. If you can pick a bead and you can lay out a design and you have that confidence, you can pretty much anything that comes your way. It's a good practice. It's a really great practice. So I'm so glad we have a big community out there.
And we get to wear our creations. I mean, that's what's really fun about beading is every time I make something new, I want to wear it. And then I'm out and, you know, a friend says, oh, what you got on? I made it, of course, you know. And so that's just, I mean, that's a lot of fun too.
Yes, that pride of knowing that you can create and that you are telling your story. I think everyone out there has a story and we all should be out there sharing it. You all deserve that opportunity and you have our time, you have our ears and our hearts. And so it's really nice to be a part of this community. Sarah, thank you. And Kristen.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thanks.
And just thank you for being such a support for Softlex for all of these years. We are going to do a blog post about Jamie Yoshida and the Bead Gallery. So look out for that on our blog in the coming weeks. And then, of course, this will be available on replay. So you can watch it over and over if you want to, or watch it for the first time if you're late. But thank you so much for being with us, Jamie. Your time is precious. You're so busy as a small business owner, and we so appreciate you taking the time out to hang with us.
Yes,
thank
always
you.
a joy.
And aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha. Sarah?
I don't even know if I can do that. I got it. Bye, everybody. Thank you for being with us today.